Today, we're going to talk about a concept that is, no joke, a total game changer for how you learn. It's called metacognition. And really, it all boils down to learning how to learn. So, let's dive right in.
You know the feeling, right? We've all been there. You spend an hour reading a chapter. You get to the very last word on the page and it's just a blank. Your eyes moved, but your brain totally checked out. It is so frustrating, and it perfectly highlights the difference between just passively seeing information and actually truly learning it.
So, how do we fix that? Well, the first step is we've got to understand the problem with our old habits. And that means we need to get comfortable with, well, thinking about how we think.
A lot of us were taught to learn using what some educators call the banking method. The whole idea is that your brain is just an empty account, and knowledge gets deposited into it. You just sit there passively while the teacher or the book makes the deposit. But you know and I know that's not how real lasting learning actually works.
And this is exactly where our superpower comes into play. Metacognition is the tool that lets us switch from being that passive container to being an active, engaged builder of our own knowledge.
So what is this thing exactly? Well, at its core, metacognition is just the ability to step back and watch your own mind work. It's being aware of how you're learning, not just what you're learning. It's all about consciously and actively regulating your own thought process. It's thinking about your thinking.
I mean, just look at the difference when you put these two approaches side by side. It's night and day, right? Over on the left, you've got the old banking method, passive, no reflection. But on the right, that's the reflective approach, the one powered by metacognition. It's all about active engagement, letting your curiosity lead and constantly checking in with yourself. It's a completely different way to play the game.
Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, but how do we actually do it? Let's get practical and talk about how to build your very own metacognitive toolkit. The very first tool is monitoring. Think of it like you're checking your compass while you're out on a hike. These are the questions you ask yourself in the middle of learning. You pause after a tricky paragraph and you think, okay, do I actually get this? Could I explain this to somebody else right now? If the answer is no, you stop and you try a different strategy. It's all about being aware in the moment.
And the second tool is evaluating. Now, if monitoring is checking your compass during the hike, evaluating is like looking at the whole map after you stopped for the day. You're looking back on the journey you just took. Were the strategies you used effective? Where did you crush it and where did you kind of stumble? That reflection is what helps you plan an even better route for tomorrow.
Now, checklists are great, but if you really want to go deeper, there's a practice that truly connects what you're learning to who you are, and that is the reflective journal.
This quote right here, it just absolutely nails the mindset we're going for. The point isn't just to hunt for the one right answer. It's to stay curious and to explore the questions themselves. And a journal is the perfect place to do that exploring.
So what does this actually look like? Check out these prompts. They're not just asking, what did you learn? They're pushing you to ask, how does this connect to me? What new insight did I have? How did my brain actually process this stuff? This is how you turn abstract facts into real personal knowledge.
So to wrap this all up, let's get you started on your own reflection. I'm going to leave you with a few really powerful questions to get the ball rolling, starting right now.
Seriously, think about something you learned recently. What was the hardest part? The most challenging moment? And don't just stop there. Ask yourself why. Why was it so tough? Really understanding your struggles is the absolute first step to moving past them.
And of course, on the flip side, what are your greatest strengths as a learner? What just clicks for you? Acknowledging what you're good at is just as important as finding areas to improve. It gives you a solid foundation you can always build on.
And finally, let's end on this. Based on everything you've just thought about, what's one single thing you'd like to work on? It doesn't have to be some huge, massive goal. The point of metacognition isn't about being perfect, it's just about making progress. So what's your next step going to be?